Last week we discussed a topic called computer and operating system. So in that topic we discussed about the definition of a computer operating system. We also talk about functions of operating system. So today we are going to continue with the same topic, but in that topic we are going to discuss about user interface today. So as you can see on my screen, I have 3 objectives. At the end of this lesson, students will be able to describe user interface. Number 2 objective, students will be able to list and describe types of user interface. Number 3 objective, students will be able to state the benefit and drawback of each type of user interface. So these are the 3 objectives expected to be achieved at the end of today's lesson. Now let us move to the next slide. User interface. The system that people use to interact with a computer, to give it commands, to see the result of those commands, is known as the user interface. Let me come again. User interface is the system that people use to interact with a computer. Now let's move to the next slide. Types of operating system interface. The way in which users communicate with the computer is called an interface, so which I have explained in my previous slide, that interface is a way or a system in which users communicate or interact with the computer system. The interface is what we use to give the computer commands. There are 2 major types of operating system interface. These are, number 1, command line interface, called CLI. Number 2, graphical user interface, that is GUI. I hope you are getting this concept. Good. Now let's move to the next slide, where we are going to look at a description of each type of operating system interface. Command line interface. The command line interface operating system works through the user entering typed commands with a keyboard. So it means in this user interface, there is no need for using a mouse. User can only use a computer keyboard to type or to enter commands. Command line interface do not use windows, icons, menus, or pointers, unlike graphical user interface. There are over 270 commands available for functions such as delete command, open command, run command, and many more. So, there are some things that you must understand about command line interface. 1. Commands must be entered precisely with no spelling mistakes. It means that as a user, if you want to enter command using command line interface, you must not experience spelling errors, because if there is any mistake as you are entering the command, it will be what? The command will be rejected. Number 2, these commands may be difficult to remember. As a result, this type of interface is considered more difficult to use when compared to a graphical user interface. So, by the left-hand side of my screen, you will see the example of commands entered by a particular user. So, in this example, on the left, I am using a version of Microsoft Disk Operating System, that is MS-DOS, to delete a file named junk. Don't forget that the full meaning of MS-DOS is Microsoft Disk Operating System. Am I communicating? Yes. Now let's move to the next slide. Benefits and drawbacks of CLI. I have 4 benefits here. Number 1, if the user is experienced in using the CLI, it can be faster to type commands rather than move the mouse and click on drop-down menus and icons to issue the same commands. So this is number 1 benefit of using command line interface. Number 2, a CLI does not use as much hard disk space when being stored. So it means this command line interface does not require too much of space. Number 3, a CLI does not need as much memory, that is ROM and RAM, when being run. So this is another benefit of command line interface. Number 4, which is the last benefit, you do not need a powerful processor to run a CLI. So if you are using command line interface, you did not need a powerful processor to run it. You can make use of what? Of a less powerful microprocessor. Now let's move to the drawbacks. I have just only 2 here. Number 1, you need to learn and remember a lot of commands. Yes, this is one of the limitations of CLI. You must learn and remember a lot of commands. Number 2, which is the last one, commands must be issued in a specific order, otherwise the command will be rejected. Now let's move to the second type of user interface. That is graphical user interface. The graphical user interface is a type of operating system that makes use of windows, icons, menus, and pointers. Unlike command line interface that uses only keyboard to type commands. Here you don't need to type command. You will see the interface in form of what? In form of icons. You can make use of your mouse to click on the icons. You can also make use of light pen to touch the screen. So it means this graphical user interface is user-friendly. It's user-friendly. So anyone can make use of this interface, whether you are an experienced user or not. You can make use of graphical user interface. Icons and options on menus represent folders, applications, and other commands which are activated when selected and clicked by the pointer. A mouse is normally used to direct the pointer around the screen. So you can see it at the left corner of my screen. You can see the interface. You can see all the icons. You can see the mouse. You can see the cursor pointing to the icon. I hope you are getting this concept. Now let's quickly move to the benefit and drawback of GUI. I have about 4 benefits here. Number 1, a GUI is considered considered by most people to be more user-friendly, which I have mentioned before now. Number 2, there are no commands to remember. Here. Number 3, it's much easier to find programs that are running using a GUI. Number 4, which is the last benefit here, they enable data to be passed easily from one software package to another using drag or drop or cut and paste. So it means that you can move from one software to the other. You can copy your folder, you can copy your file from one place to another and paste it. So there's provision for that using this interface. Now the drawback. I have about 5 drawbacks here. Number 1, a GUI takes up more hard disk space when being stored. You can see that here GUI require more space. Number 2, a GUI require more memory, that is ROM and RAM, when being used. Number 3, a more experienced user might find that typing in commands being used. Number 4, a more experienced user might find that typing in commands is quicker than moving the mouse or clicking. You said that there's one adage which says experience is the best teacher. When you are using a particular interface, for example, if you are so conversant with CLI, which is command line interface, moving to graphical user interface, you may not like it because you are conversant with typing of commands. So that is what this drawback is talking about. The last drawback now, which is number 5, a powerful processor is needed to run the latest version of a GUI. So, I hope you have gotten this concept. So, we have come to the end of today's lesson. Thank you, and God bless you.